Asmahan, and I'm going to be meeting with my client Lainey today, and we are going to be working on helping her deal with her anxiety and incorporating coping skills into her daily routine to help reduce her anxiety. Hi, Lainey. How are you today?
Hi, I'm doing all right.
Yeah, how's things been going?
They've been going okay. Still have my panic attacks and been going through some anxiety still and haven't been sleeping. The same sort of stuff.
So you've not been sleeping, and I hear you saying that you've been having more panic attacks.
Yeah.
Okay. So your anxiety's been up the same as it was. Do you feel that your anxiety has been higher, or do you think that the anxiety attacks are about the same number and the same length of time?
They've been about the same, I think. Typically, like at work or something is when I get them. Or just even at school too. I haven't really felt like going to school.
So you've not been feeling like going to school, but have you been able to get yourself motivated to go?
Yeah, just enough to go.
Okay, that's really impressive. That's commendable. So you should be really proud of yourself for that. I know that it's a stressful thing when we have all this other stuff going on in our life to be responsible and still go to work and go to school. So that's really impressive.
Yeah, it's tough to get myself to work and school, but I know it'll work out in the end. That I need to do it for my future. So.
Right. So what I'm hearing you say today is the main thing that's going on is the panic attacks and anxiety are really starting to impact your life.
Yeah.
Is that something that you want us to focus on today to try to figure out things that you can do in your daily routine that will help you deal with that anxiety and get it back to where you can go back to focusing on school or focusing on work?
Yeah, I really love that because, like, I'll be at work and just the fear of seeing my ex-friend there or something because, you know, about them harassing me and stuff. So I get that anxiety and the pressure in my chest and I can't breathe. And so it affects me at work because it'll happen. I don't know when it's going to happen, and that stresses me out even more. And it's the same at school too. So I'm afraid somebody's going to find out my secret
And that's a really normal reaction, to feel that anxiety and to feel that worry of not knowing when that person might show up.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're dealing with, the best thing that you could possibly do is tell someone that this is what's going on. And that way we can start trying to figure out different coping skills that you can try. And if those work out well, then we'll keep up with those. And if they don't work out well, you just let me know and we'll try other ones.
Okay. So like tell someone at work?
Yeah. If you need to take a break, if you need to step back and just do relaxation exercises, which we'll talk about that here in just a minute. The biggest thing is I don't want to overwhelm you with too many things.
Yeah.
And it's going to have to be what you feel is going to work best for you.
Okay, because I get easily overwhelmed.
Yeah. And this is new stuff, so anytime we learn new things, it can be a little bit overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
So the more questions you might have, we can practice it several times, and then that way, hopefully, you'll be able to do that as well.
That'd be really good.
Sure. Okay. So as far as anxiety attacks, I heard you mention that you're having them at school and you're having them at work.
Mm-hmm.
So can you feel yourself building up to that point?
Yeah, I feel tense and my heart starts racing, and sometimes I'll get like really severe chest pains, and then I get short breath, like I can't breathe. And if it gets like so bad, like if I do see somebody that I know who's been harassing me, then I'll like just completely break down and lose it. And then it's hard to get back to my normal.
So if you see someone that you're afraid is going to come confront you, that sends you, and it's kind of like a trigger, sets off that panic, and you lose it. Is what I'm hearing. Okay. So what do you normally do when you lose it? Where do you go?
I just try to run away to the bathroom or something. Just get out of the situation.
Okay. How long do you usually have to sit in there for?
At least 10 minutes.
Okay.
To, try to get my face not red and calm down and all that.
Okay. So what are you doing while you're in the bathroom? Let's see what you've already started doing to help yourself. If we can start with that and maybe build off those skills into the new coping skills.
I try to like talk myself down a little bit and like deep breaths. And using cold water on my face helps too a little bit, just to cool me down because I get really hot and heated.
That's fantastic, and that's going to be something that we can do immediately with the grounding skills, because you've already mentioned a couple of them with your senses,
Oh,
just
really?
focusing on different senses. And that kind of helps us become more grounded and focused on the here and now rather than what could be going on and what could escalate into something. And that's obviously going to make our anxiety and panic rise.
Yeah.
So with you mentioning you've already put cold water on your face, that's already touching something and feeling a different temperature. So it kind of wakes you up. So counting how many things you might see around the room, whether it's tiles if you're in the bathroom, if you're touching something, if you have a stress ball with you, if it's even just whatever it may be that you have on hand. If you've got like a belt on, just rubbing your finger against that has the sensory impact of it.
Yeah.
If you've got anything that was around you as far as gum, lifesavers, if you think to grab your purse, that would help. But if not, of course, just use the other things, touching the stuff right around you and thinking about things that calm you down while you do the deep breathing exercises that you already mentioned. And the biggest thing is going to be with that, focusing on relaxation and trying to keep those other thoughts out by doing the things like touching things and counting things and what you can smell, and that could be kind of interesting in the bathroom.
Yeah,
of course.
I don't know if I'll do that one.
right. So that might be a little bit tricky, but if you're not necessarily in the bathroom, so at school you might be doing that in the classroom, and you have a whole bunch of things to be counting and focusing on and getting your mind distracted. So I know that last time we talked, you had mentioned that you were having a lot of self-blaming thoughts, and I wanted to see if how that was going, and if that's impacting any level of anxiety.
Yeah, it does bother me. I still feel guilty for losing my friendship, and I feel guilty of putting all this on my mom because I know she's already got a lot on her plate, and I don't want her to have to deal with all my problems too, and just been kind of just stressed about it, I guess.
And some of those things, like you mentioned, it is going to be your mom's job to do that, is to look out for you and to protect you and prepare for those things. But for right now, as court proceedings kind of happen, you're right, your stress level might go up. So it's going to be really important to figure out how to incorporate different relaxation exercises. With you being in class, you're going to be sitting down a lot of the time. So is it okay if we talk about another one that might kind of help you relax your muscles and so on?
Yeah.
Okay. It's called progressive relaxation exercises or muscle relaxation exercises, and it's going to be something that nobody's even going to notice that you're doing.
Oh, that would be good.
Right?
Because sometimes I have to completely leave the room.
Right. And the key is going to be to catch when you notice that your mind is starting to wander and focus on the stressful things, to try to get it back focused on something that's a little bit safer. So that way your brain doesn't escape into panic land. And if you feel yourself getting there, trying to incorporate these relaxation exercises with grounding skills. The other one is going to be progressive relaxation. So whether you tense up your muscles and then and then hold it as tight as you can, and then slowly let that tenseness go away. Relax that muscle. And you can do that with different parts of your body and focus on different muscle groups within your body until you get yourself back to where you need to be and relaxing. And try and incorporate the deep breathing all within the same time. It takes a little bit of practice, right? So we'll do that at the end of our session, and then we'll touch up on it in the next few times as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to try that.
Okay. Do you have any questions so far?
No, not yet.
Okay. So as far as the self-blame and the worry and anxiety, when do you notice that's going on? Like, what part of the day is that typically going on?
Just when things kind of slow down and I start just thinking too deeply into things. Because I was really close with my friend, and like I said, I kind of feel guilty for it because I lost a good friend for this, but I don't know.
And unfortunately, that's how friendships sometimes happen. One person's feeling left like they're the one to blame, and the other person isn't taking any responsibility for it. And I know you mentioned that you tried to talk to him about it and deal with this in a mature way.
I don't think I don't know why he wouldn't believe me, but maybe he wasn't a good friend anyways, if he didn't believe me. So
Obviously the friendship has some value to it. People can change, and they continue to become who they're going to be for whatever reasons, and you can't control what someone else is going to do. So the only thing that you can really focus on is thinking about what can you control in the situation, and in this moment it's going to be the way you feel and how it's impacting your life.
Yeah. Which I think I'm ready to let that part go. It's just causing me too much stress and I'm tired of it.
I can imagine, and I heard you mention at the beginning of the session that you don't want this to impact your future.
Yeah, definitely not. And it is with work and school and stuff, and I'm afraid that I won't do good in school and it'll affect college and all that stuff.
So one thing at a time. I hear you getting worried just talking about that. I can tell in the tone of your voice. So just let's do some deep breathing stuff and just really focusing on putting your hand on your belly.
Okay.
And just we're going to sit here and do inhaling and exhaling for about 3 seconds in and 3 seconds out. Okay? So I'm going to talk out loud as we do it, so that way it just gives you a little bit more direction and practice.
Okay.
So we're going to take a deep breath in, and you're going to feel your belly go out. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3.
The belly should be going out when I inhale.
Inhale, and the belly goes out. So, and then you're going to hold it when you inhale, and then exhale again. So,
Okay.
good. And when you're doing that, you're really focusing on the things that you're feeling. So your brain is starting to relax as you focus on, this is what I can control. My breathing is helping me get more in control. Okay. So any last questions before we wrap up for today?
No, I think that helps.
Okay. So I would like to figure out some steps as when you plan to use these. How many times a week or how many times a day? What do you feel would be realistic?
Well, just whenever I have a panic attack, I guess, or when I just start feeling anxious, just try and practice breathing mainly, and like you said, the sensory type things and relaxing my muscles. Maybe I'll just get a stress ball and keep it around with me.
Okay.
So I think that would help.
I think that's a really good plan, and I've got a stress ball I can give you.
Oh, awesome.
So that will help out. And then the other thing is going to be just practicing this when you're relaxed. So in those stressful moments, it's going to be second nature to do.
Okay.
So, and then before you feel yourself in a full-blown panic attacks, when your heart starts to pound, absolutely that's the time that you're going to bring those skills forward. So good job. I'm really impressed that you're willing to give this a try, and I look forward to seeing how it goes.
Okay, thanks.
All right. I'll see you later.
Bye.
Push down.